salvation come. This holy instant is salvation come. What joy there is today, it is a time of special celebration. For today holds out the instant to the darkened world, where its release is set, where its release is set. The day has come when sorrows pass away and pain is gone. The glory of salvation dawns today upon a world set free. This is the time of hope for countless millions. They will be united now as you forgive them all. For I will be forgiven by you today. This holy instant is salvation come. This holy instant is salvation come. We have forgiven one another now, and so we come at last to you again. Father, your Son who never left returns to heaven and his home. How glad are we to have our sanity restored to us, and to remember that we all are one. This holy instant is salvation come. This holy instant is salvation come. What is the world? Oh, what is the world? The world is false perception. It is born of error. It has not left its source. It has not left its source. It will remain no longer than the thought that gave it birth is cherished. When the thought of separation has been changed to one of true forgiveness, will the world be seen in quite another light, and one which leads to truth, where all the world must disappear and all its errors vanish. Now its source is gone, now its source is gone, and its effects are gone as well, its effects are gone as well. The world was made as an attack on God. It symbolizes fear, it symbolizes fear. And what is fear except love's absence? Thus the world was meant to be a place where God could enter not, and where his Son could be apart from him. Here was perception born, for knowledge could not cause such insane thoughts. But eyes deceive and ears hear falsely. Now mistakes become quite possible. For certainty has gone. The mechanisms of illusion have been born instead, and now they go to find what has been given them to seek. Their aim is to fulfill the purpose which the world was made to witness. The world was made to witness and make a solid base where truth exists, upheld apart from lies. Yet everything that they report is but illusions which is kept apart from truth. Yet everything that they report is but illusion which is kept apart from truth. As sight was made to lead away from truth that can be redirected, sounds become the call for God, and all perception can be given a new purpose. And by the one whom God appointed Savior to the world, follow his light and see the world as he beholds it. Follow the Holy Spirit's light. Follow his light and see the world as he beholds it. Hear his voice alone in all that speaks to you. Hear his voice alone in all that speaks to you. And let him give you peace and certainty which you have thrown away. But heaven has preserved for you in him. And let us not rest content until the world has joined our changed perception. Let us not rest content until the world has joined our changed perception. Let us not be satisfied until forgiveness has been made complete. Let us not be satisfied until forgiveness has been made complete. And let us not attempt to change our function. Let us not attempt to change. Let us not attempt to change our function. We must save the world, oh, we must save the world. For we who made it must behold it through the eyes of Christ. We must save the world, oh, we must save the world. For we who made it must behold it through the eyes of Christ. That what was made to die can be restored to everlasting life. This holy instant is salvation come. This holy instant is salvation come. What joy there is today, it is a time of special celebration. For today holds out the instant to the darkened world, where its release is set, oh, where its release is set. The day has come when sorrows pass away and pain is gone. The glory of salvation dawns today upon a world set free. This is the time of hope for countless millions. They will be united now as you forgive them all. For I will be forgiven by you today. This holy instant is salvation come. This holy instant is salvation come. We have forgiven one another now. We have forgiven one another now. And so we come at last to you again. Father, your Son who never left returns to heaven and his home. How glad are we to have our sanity restored to us. How glad are we to have our sanity restored to us, and to remember that we all are one. This holy instant is salvation come. This holy instant is salvation come. This holy instant is salvation come. Well, thank you all so much for joining me out here today in my here on my home place in my little walnut grove, one of them. Here I'm Miracle Willie, Forgiveness Teacher from the Ozarks, and we're doing lesson 241 in A Course in Miracles here on Wednesday, August the 28th of 2024. And we just sang the song through a couple, the whole lesson through a couple times. We'll come back and just hit it briefly at the end. Let's go look at our text reading today, which we're in chapter 26, section 7, which is the laws of healing. Remember, it started out by saying this is a course in miracles. As such, the laws of healing must be understood before the purpose of the course can be accomplished. Let us review the principles that we have covered and arrange them in a way that summarizes all that must occur for healing to be possible. For when it once is possible, it must occur. All sickness comes from separation. When the separation is denied, it goes. For it is gone as soon as the idea that brought it has been healed and been replaced by sanity. Sickness and sin are seen as consequence and cause in a relationship kept hidden from awareness, that it may be carefully preserved from reason's light. That's the first couple paragraphs of the section. We actually made it to paragraph 10 and read it. Let's start with paragraph 10, though, for today. I just wanted to kind of give you, remember, we're going through, he's kind of looking at what all we've learned so far and putting it into an order that healing can be possible, miracles can occur. Okay, paragraph 10, but before we read paragraph 10, let's see what's going on around the world today. Out of holidays and observances, it says that crackers over the keyboard day. Don't get those crackers in your keyboard. It's a lighthearted day to not take ourselves too serious. Dream day. Dream about a forgiven world. That'd be a good dream. International Read Comics in Public Day. Bow Tie Day. Cherry Turnover Day. Of course, you'll have to grow some Prunus aviums, some cherries. Power Rangers Day. Power Rangers Day. NHPI Women's Equal Pay Day. And NHPI is Native Hawaiian and Pacific Islanders Women's Equal Pay Day. Race your mouse around the icons day. You'll fiddling around while you're waiting for your computer to move to the next function, and you race your mouse around on it. Radio commercials day. Rainbow Bridge Remembrance Day, and that's Rainbow Bridge is referring to I guess it's a little holiday reminding ourselves of those that have crossed over, that have crossed the Rainbow Bridge. Basically pets, though. But, you know, what has life has immortality, says A Course in Miracles. So your pets will join up with you again, for sure. Red Wine Day. Tug of War Day. You know, first tug of war was recorded way back 3,000 years ago in China. Willing to Lend a Hand Wednesday. There was a Lend a Hand Tuesday, too. You know, lend a hand anytime when anybody needs a hand lended. And now we're going to talk about the Vitis aestivalis, which is a grape, a particular type of grape, which is a hybrid. It's the Norton, or also known as the Cynthian. Oh, you know, I've got to get my my edible landscaping is where we're reading it from. Give me just a minute to turn there. of the Norton or the Cynthian or Cynthiana. Norton has small to medium clusters which bear firm, round black berries, a natural hybrid of Vitis lambrusca and Vitis aestivalis, grown commercially in Arkansas and Missouri, called the Cabernet of the Ozarks, and the organic wine grape. Norton produces a rich, medium to full-bodied red wine with a dry character similar in style to Cabernet Sauvignon, but with more spice. Zones 4 through 8. So there's your red wine of the Ozarks there. And it organic. It doesn't take much care. It doesn't take much. It's real hardy. Okay, let's take a look now at paragraph 10 in chapter 26, the transition, section 7. Salvation, perfect and complete, asks but a little wish that what is true be true, a little willingness to overlook what is not there, a little sigh that speaks for heaven as a preference to this world that death and desolation seem to rule. In joyous answer will creation rise within you to replace the world you see with heaven, holy, perfect, and complete. What is forgiveness but a willingness that truth be true? What can remain unhealed and broken from a unity which holds all things within itself? There is no sin, and every miracle is possible the instant that the Son of God perceives his wishes and the will of God are one. Wow. We want to bathe ourselves in our ideas that we're learning. This holy instant is salvation come. We don't want to think that sin is real and believe that attack has any foundation. What is the will of God? It starts off paragraph 11. What is the will of God? He wills his Son have everything, and this he guaranteed when he created him as everything. It is impossible for anything be lost. It is impossible that anything be lost if what you have is what you are. This is the miracle by which creation became your function, sharing it with God. It is not understood apart from him, and therefore has no meaning in this world. Here does the Son of God ask not too much, but far too little. He would sacrifice his own identity with everything to find a little treasure of his own. And this he cannot do without a sense of isolation, loss, and loneliness. This is the treasure he has sought to find, and he could only be afraid of it. Is fear a treasure? Can uncertainty be what you want? Or is it a mistake about your will and what you really are? Uncertainty is a mistake about your will, he asks, and what you really are. 12. Let us consider what the error is so it can be corrected, not protected. Sin as belief attack can be projected outside the mind where the belief arose. Here is the firm conviction that ideas can leave their source, made real and meaningful. And from this error does the world of sin and sacrifice arise. This world is an attempt to prove your innocence while cherishing attack. Its failure lies in that you still feel guilty, though without understanding why. Effects are seen as separate from their source and seen to be beyond you to control or to prevent. What is thus kept apart can never join. 13. Cause and effect are one, not separate. God wills you learn what always has been true, that he created you as part of him. And this must still be true because ideas leave not their source. Such is creation's law, that each idea the mind conceives but adds to its abundance, never takes away. This is as true of what is idly wished as what is truly willed, because the mind can wish to be deceived, but cannot make it be what it is not. And to believe ideas can leave their source is to invite illusions to be true without success. For never will success be possible in trying to deceive the Son of God. Never will success be possible in trying to deceive the Son of God. 14. The miracle is possible when cause and consequence are brought together, not kept separate. The healing of effect without the cause can merely shift effects to other forms. And this is not release. God's Son could never be content with less than full salvation and escape from guilt. God's Son could never be content with less than full salvation and escape from guilt. For otherwise he still demands that he must make some sacrifice and thus denies that everything is his, unlimited by loss of any kind. A tiny sacrifice is just the same in its effects as is the whole idea of sacrifice. If loss in any form is possible, then is God's Son made incomplete and not himself. Nor will he know himself, nor recognize his will. He has forsworn his Father and himself and made them both his enemies in hate. 15. Illusions serve the purpose that they were made to serve. And from their purpose they derive whatever meaning that they seem to have. God gave to all illusions that were made another purpose that would justify a miracle in whatever form they took. God gave to all illusions that were made another purpose that would justify a miracle, whatever form they took. In every miracle all healing lies, for God gave answer to them all as one. And what is one to him must be the same. If you believe what is the same is different, you but deceive yourself. What God calls one will be forever one, not separate. His kingdom is united. Thus it was created, and thus will it ever be. 16. The miracle but calls your ancient name, which you will recognize because the truth is in your memory. And to this name your brother calls for his release and yours. Heaven is shining on the Son of God. Deny him not, that you may be released. Each instant is the Son of God reborn until he chooses not to die again. Each instant is the Son of God reborn until he chooses not to die again. In every wish to hurt, he chooses death instead of what his Father wills for him. In every wish to hurt, he chooses death instead of what his Father wills for him. Yet every instant offers life to him because his Father wills that he should live. 17. In crucifixion is redemption laid, for healing is not needed where there is no pain or suffering. Forgiveness is the answer to attack of any kind. Catch that and take it with you. Forgiveness is the answer to attack of any kind. So is attack deprived of its effects. And hate is answered in the name of love. To you to whom it has been given to save the Son of God from crucifixion and from hell and death, all glory be forever. For you have power to save the Son of God because his Father willed that it be so. And in your hands does all salvation lie, to be both offered and received as one. 18. To use the power God has given you as he would have it used is natural. It is not arrogant to be as he created you, nor to make use of what he gave to answer all his Son's mistakes and set him free. But it is arrogant to lay aside the power that he gave and choose a little senseless wish instead of what he wills. The gift of God to you is limitless. There is no circumstance it cannot answer, and no problem which is not resolved within its gracious light. Abide in the light, and all our problems are answered. 19. Abide in peace, where God would have you be, and be the means whereby your brother finds the peace in which your wishes are fulfilled. Let us unite in bringing blessing to the world of sin and death. For what can save each one of us can save us all. There is no difference among the sons of God. The unity that specialness denies will save them all. For what is one can have no specialness. And everything belongs to each of them. No wishes lie between a brother and his own. To get from one is to deprive them all. And yet to bless but one gives blessing to them all as one. And the last paragraph to finish this section, 20. Your ancient name belongs to everyone, as theirs to you. Call on your brother's name, and God will answer, for on him you call. God's in, there's just the one of us. You can call on your brother for help. When he seems to be the one causing you problem, ask him for help, and God will answer. That's true forgiveness. Could he refuse to answer when he has already answered all who call on him? A miracle can make no change at all, but it can make what always has been true be recognized by those who know it not. And by this little gift of truth, but let it be itself, the Son of God allowed to be himself, and all creation freed to call upon the name of God as one. That was kind of a long sentence. Let's read it again, and the prior one. A miracle can make no change at all, but it can make what always has been true be recognized by those who know it not. And by this little gift of truth, but let to be itself, the Son of God allowed to be himself, and all creation freed to call upon the name of God as one. Okay, and be sure to do your morning and evening quiet time meditation, and every hour of the day tell yourself, this holy instant is salvation come. Give thanks and ask for direction during those hourly thanksgivings. This holy instant is salvation come. What joy is today, it is a time of special celebration. For today holds out the instant to the darkened world where its release is set. The day has come when sorrows pass away and pain is gone. The glory of salvation dawns today upon a world set free. And this is the time of hope for countless millions. They will be united now as you forgive them all. For I will be forgiven by you today. This holy instant is salvation come. We have forgiven one another now, and so we come at last to you again. Father, your Son, who never left, returns to heaven and his home. How glad are we to have our sanity restored to us, and to remember that we all are one. How glad are we to have our sanity restored to us, and to remember that we all are one. This holy instant is salvation come. And this holy instant is salvation come. And our word for peace is out of the Ukrainian language, and it's actually mir and also Spokiy. We'll use Spokiy today. So Spokiy be with you. This holy instant is salvation come. Spokiy.